Enough of you have asked this same exact question that I realized it's time to make a video about it. So that's what we're gonna do today. Over the last few months, I've made a series of videos analyzing Robert Kennedy Jr.'s voice. And we know that he has a diagnosis called spasmodic dysphonia. If you haven't heard of this disorder, then definitely check out some of my previous videos because I do a deep dive into the cause of it, how he looked before he had it, when he was at the height, after treatment. I've done many days of research on this guy's voice. Now, one of the questions that everyone keeps asking is, did his grandmother Rose have the same disorder? Apparently, she sounded very similar to him. I have to admit that I'm in my 30s and I'm not really that familiar with Rose Kennedy, but one of my viewers was kind enough to share an interview with her in my comments, and that made me decide, let's make a video reacting to that interview. Now, just some caveats. There's not a whole lot of footage of Rose talking when she was younger that is like clear enough for me really to comment on. So I don't know what she sounded like before. If you guys have any footage from the times when she was a younger person, then definitely let me know in the comments. Share those videos because that would be incredibly helpful. So we're gonna watch this video with the understanding that she's in her 80s, and elderly people tend to have some sort of shakiness to their voice that just happens due to age. So let's take a look at this video.
Much easier then, and I think if you bring up the oldest one right, then the younger ones will follow. The younger ones will watch a boy come in and say goodnight to his father or shake hands with a visitor. And the younger ones will be probably just coming in the door, and they watch to see what the older ones do. And if they shake hands and they're polite to a maid or they're polite to the chauffeur, then they will be.
Okay, so I can definitely hear the shakiness in her voice that is similar to RFK. I will say that I couldn't find a formal diagnosis for Rose, so I don't know if she has spasmodic dysphonia like him or something else. I kind of had to go through a ruling out process when I was doing my voice analysis. Now, if you haven't seen my Katharine Hepburn video, I would definitely check it out. She has something called essential tremor, and that tends to affect their whole body. So that's something that I was looking for in Rose Kennedy. And I noticed that her body was fairly calm throughout the interview. She wasn't moving her legs a whole lot. Her arms weren't shaking. Her head wasn't doing this or this. It was truly isolated to her voice. Now, with that being said, essential tremor can occur solely in the voice box. So there is a chance that she actually has essential tremor, which often happens to elderly people. If you ever think about an actor or a comedian who's mocking an old person, they kind of add a little shakiness, a quiver to their voice. That's just because it kind of happens naturally over time. And Rose is 84, I think, years old at the time of this video. Spasmodic dysphonia really is sort of isolated to the voice box. So there is a chance that she does have a milder version of spasmodic dysphonia. But again, she didn't have any formal diagnosis for me to say with absolute certainty that she had it. I'm gonna guess that this is more of a tremor than a dysphonia. If you take a look at some of the videos where RFK Jr. is speaking, his voice is a lot more inconsistent and sort of untrustworthy compared to Rose's voice.
You know, I have 7 kids who are in the range 20 to 35, and almost none of their friends are buying houses. That was part of the American dream, that if you worked hard, you played by the rules, you could afford a house, you could take a summer vacation, you could raise a family.
So yes, there is a shakiness, but with his voice, you can really hear the disturbances in the vocal cords, just volatile movements in his voice compared to what we're seeing with Rose's voice. It really just kind of sounds shaky versus turbulent. There is a suggestion from research that spasmodic dysphonia is genetic or inherited. So there's a chance that she has it, but since we don't have that formal diagnosis, I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's similar, but probably not the same. As always, thank you for sharing these insights with me in the comments. I definitely read them and take them seriously. Again, if you guys have any other videos that you know of, especially like when she was younger, that would be more helpful for me to kind of do a before and after. I'm actually doing a series where I'm taking a break from the disorders and just highlighting some of the most unique voices around the world. This is supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be interactive, so if you want to test your ears and guess who the mystery voice of the week is, then definitely take a look at this video. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one.